Welcome to another segment of ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month. I'm W. Keith Scott.
And I'm ZARR Coleman.
Welcome to ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month TV show. Who will be this month's Spotlight entertainer? Sit back, enjoy, and tell a friend to watch ZARR'S Spotlight of the Month TV show.
Today we're going to celebrate our 12th episodes of the season finale, and we're going to talk about the concept of bringing a script
to screen.
And we're going to start here today with our panel of guests. Mr. Randall Lawrence, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you, my brother.
Tell us a little bit about you, what you do. Just bring us up to speed with who you are.
My name is Randall Lawrence. I'm an independent filmmaker. My projects are Second Chance, written, produced, directed, Water with Slice of Lemon, Kelly, director of Night Before Day, and Second Chance Redemption. Okay. All independent films that I produced, written, directed.
Awesome.
Great. And next we have Miss Rita Wallace Posey.
Yes, thank you. Rita A. Wallace Posey, author of my book, Go Through and Overcome, The Grief, Pain, and the Pressure to Reclaim Your Purpose, and writer and executive producer of the movie Night Before Day.
Wow, cool. Next up, we have an incredible actress and casting director, Ms. Simone Walker.
Yes, thank you for having me. Simone Walker, and my studio is in Laurel, Maryland. Simone Walker Casting. I'm an actress, director, acting coach, voiceover. I have my hands in a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Exactly.
I also lead role for the movie that Night Before Day with Rita.
Awesome. Next we have Fahim.
Yes, I'm Fahim Abdul Salam, and thank you for having me here. I am just a very fortunate actor here in the DMV with film credits with Second Chance and Second Chance Redemption, as well as I play the husband of the lead role for Night Before Day, and I'm also a stage actor as well.
Awesome. All right, next gentleman. Ooh, this guy's been around for a minute. He is a multi-Grammy nominated recording artist and actor. It's Mr. Frank Still. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that Grammy nominated, I don't know what I want to call it, category.
Hello, everyone.
You're a little tongue-tied sometimes.
Thanks, ZARR. Hello, everyone. Frank Cisco Steele. I grew up in a musical family, and so music's been in my blood my whole life. And then from there, everything grew as things connect. And so I started working with independent film with my friend here, Master June Daguiso, around 2006, and started use my music as far as for soundtracks and music supervision, and then got the acting bug as well. And then 2-3 years back, I wrote my second screenplay, Line of Judah Legacy, which we'll be shooting next year, and I'm the writer and executive producer of it and the lead actor. Wow. And that's what's going on right now. So.
Awesome. Well, next we have Master June, who's been on set before, and so we just want to hear more.
Sure. We're carrying Master June.
I know.
Well, first of all, I would like to congratulate you two for a successful 1 year of doing the production. And I remember like last year all of us were just a guest of Rose Jennifer behind the set. And next thing I know, you guys are started taking the classes and everything, now producing and now finishing the first season. So congratulations to both of you. Yes, I'm June Daguiso. People call me still Master June Daguiso, but I retired teaching martial art back in 2000. I recently retired working for a law firm after 38 years. So now I'm enjoying and working and in full production of the other project that I'm doing. I've been writing, producing, directing, and editing most of my film since 2006. And I'm here to actually be directing his first feature film and the cinematographer and the editor of the movie. So thank you.
That's awesome. So you have a lot of transitions. You start in one place and you spend time and then you move on to the next place. So what we're going to focus on now, and we're going to go around because we have like 2 different projects working, right? We have, I know, Randall, you're producing her.
No, I'm actually directing Night Before
You're
Day.
producing, he's directing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that project, the concept, where you came up with the concept, and where you're trying to go with it.
The question asked most is what inspired me to write the book. I wasn't inspired. In the year of 2010, I suffered the loss of my husband.
Okay.
And in the book, there's a chapter, The Secrets Inside the Secret, where there's still some more secrets that hasn't been told, because the year 2011, 12, and 13, I spiraled into depression. It was a horrible place. I didn't like it, but nonetheless, I was about to throw in the towel. And in my bedroom one night, I was visited by the Holy Spirit, and he said, enough suffering. But he also said, you're going to put your story into a book. Well, that's my privacy, and that's not something I wanted to share. But I was led by and placed the story, my love story, the painful story, and as you know, as we come to the end, it's a sad story. So I was inspired by the presence of the Holy Spirit. And he told me that you're going to extend this book into a movie, none of which, again, I did not want to work on.
Randall, understanding this about, her book, and I'm sure you've read it, and now going from that to actually directing it, I mean, what are some of the obstacles you had to go through to?
The emotional part. It wasn't an obstacle, but it was something to take a heave. It was an emotional story that actually had to be told the right way.
Correct.
You have to really be careful about how you bring those type of stories to life, because we're talking about
Correct.
her loved one.
Yes.
It's different when it's something that
Yeah.
you made up versus something, an actual story.
Right. Because it's somebody else's story, and it's actually based on their emotional feelings.
Correct.
So,
Correct. I can tell you one thing I've learned is anytime you're inspired to put something out past what you're comfortable putting out, it's for somebody else. It's never for you. Someone needs to hear that story that may be going through it or about to go through it. So it's great that you followed the leading. All right.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
Simone,
Yes, sir.
so you're playing her.
Yes. I got the call, which is always a good thing as an actor. I got the call, and it's like, I know this part is for you. I know. Let me call you right back. Okay.
I think I did that like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, you call back 2 or 3
Because I had
times.
to get,
Yeah, in the
I had to
kitchen,
get her
yeah.
opinions. on
Yeah,
some other
because
stuff, too.
I met Randall on the set of Investigation Discovery film while I'm filming one day, and they were in the back and they heard the emotional, they thought something was really happening,
Yeah.
and that's how we learned of one another. And he said, well, I'm a director. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But, I finally connected with him, and when he called me about this, like, wow.
That was actually the
this
first
is-
project, right?
That was the
was
first,
the first one.
yeah, that we worked on together. So it was an honor to be
thank you.
able to. And someone said, this is a lead role. I'm like, oh wow, it is. Because I just do what I do.
Exactly.
But I'm honored, and I'm praying that I'm bringing forth what the vision is in place for me, and that the message will get out.
Right. Well, Fahim, what part do you play in that?
Well, I play the husband. I play the role of Lionel, and I am Anne's husband. That's what Lionel affectionately called Rita. And it's very interesting for me. It was a piece that kind of actually took me a little out of my element, because I haven't had this experience of losing someone and things of that nature. So I had to really channel into a different Fahim. I had to become Lionel. But the most important part of this for me was to make sure that I was capturing Lionel through the vision and through the lens of Anne. I had to do that, and I constantly asked her, what was his dialect? What did he call you? The very subtleties. How did he move his body, his lips?
Lean on her, right?
Did he cry often? Even his dialect, his tone. Am I meeting that piece? Because it's important. Because this is not just about her, essentially, it's about her family. There are a host of loved ones who are going to look at me and say, nah, he didn't nail that piece, but then they'll say, wow, that was him.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, having that, and I'm just, I'm happy to have been selected through the casting piece to do this.
I think that's really professional. Randall also called me, and he said, well, there's 2 parts here, and we went on, you know, I said, well, you know, whatever, I'm coming to help and do whatever I need to do. And by the end of the day, I was Rita's father. And Rita said, and the thing that hit me was, Rita said, Randall, I thought that's what he was here for the whole time. It wasn't that. And so
It was I forgot what it was the other cast for, but when I
that
really put it
basketball
together,
coach.
yeah, the basketball coach. I really put it together. I'm like, wait a minute, Keith can play the father. It all makes sense.
And then just listening to the story, and it just, you know you had to get it right. You know, you had to tell that story.
So, when you take your novel, take your book, and you go to transition into a script, a screenplay. Did you capture every piece of it? Meaning
Every area.
every area. Meaning that you leave anything out, or did you? Sometimes the challenge what I find, right? Growing up in 2 generations, I took that. That was a book about my family, right? Some of it was fictional, but most of it wasn't, right? And there was some stuff in there, but not everybody wanted to be shown, right? And she never asked us permission. But what she did, my sister did, is she gave me full autonomy to take her script, take her book, and to turn it into a movie. And with that, gave me the ability to choose and discuss with her scenarios that potentially may
Be touchy.
not touchy, but things that
Personal.
Bring up
may
old.
not be relevant to getting where I needed to go. You know what I'm saying?
I was thinking it would probably bring up old wounds. You know.
Well, there was some that I just left out altogether.
Yeah.
She gave me full autonomy, and it was,
Right.
I wasn't a part of that movie. So there was nothing about me and my brother. It was all about my sisters, and because that was the focus of what was going on, right? So, say that to say, when you, and I put that out there because the concept we're talking about the transition, right? And sometimes for the folks that's looking on, they have to look at that. What exactly do I want to put in there? And do I have enough detail that's going to help my actors capture it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was very interesting because we got the book from Rita.
Okay.
And in actually reading the storyline, you became more engaged. Like,
awesome.
wow, this is a different piece of literature here. This isn't just a novel. This is something that you can see and say, hey, I really, it's bringing her life to film and to the TV screen. And so, it had to take doing the transition of writing that manuscript from the vision that she had to actually writing it down and then conceptualizing that into how does this come across in film, or what will it look like on the big screen, and where do I go with it? I can imagine it had to be a difficult process for her to go through.
Can she find someone who can deliver that?
Yeah.
Well, as I stated, I was coming out of depression when I started this manuscript. And so it's only 90 pages long, but it took 2.5 years to write it. And so even after completing it, I had to talk with my son and daughter to see if they were okay with me bringing it to the screen. So if one had said no, I would not have done it, but they both were in agreement and very proud of me. And so when I met Randall Lawrence, I shared with him what I wanted to do. He says, well, I like to read the book. I said, okay. He says, this is not a yes. I just like to read the book. I said, understand. He says, but give me one answer to give me the answer to this. I said, yes, sir. He says, what's in the story? What's the wow that's going to come out of this? Because people lose loved ones every day. And I said, the message of it all is people don't talk about it. And that's the pain, as you mentioned earlier. We need to share the pain, or the pain, our purpose of pain is to help someone else through theirs. And so again, he wanted a couple of days to read the story, and then he wanted to go face to face. And then after reading the story and actually seeing in my eyes is what he said, I had to see the sincerity in your eyes. So he had to read the story and then meet with me. And then he called a couple of days later and says, congratulations, there will be a movie.
I say congratulations.
He said congratulations.
Well, majority of the time, most people talk the talk, but when it's time to, put up and do everything that they need to move forward, give me a week, give me 3 months, give me that. Like, I saw the sincerity in her eyes that she really wanted this done. And that's what made. And the fact the book, if you actually look at the book and you read the book, she had internal thoughts in there. The internal thoughts would actually take you through the whole venture of the book. Yeah. So not only do we have scenes, we have Simone all going back into the studio doing internal thoughts throughout the whole entire movie. So it's actually going to help the movie.
Awesome.
Although it's only 90 pages long, it's actually going to be a long short. It's not going to be a featured movie. It's going to be a long short. But what I'm thinking,
how many minutes is it going to be?
We're not sure yet. But it's looking like because a movie, it's an hour 45. I don't think this is going to reach an hour and 45. I'm not sure yet. But with the eternal thoughts that she was thinking, with Simone adding on to it, it's going to bring it to light a little bit more.
Yeah.
Well, not a little bit more, a lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
I know. I was just fortunate to be honest with you, to work with Simone, to have her as that cohort there, because you go on some sets and then some projects, and you're kind of wondering how I'm going to respond to my castmate. Yeah. And it was the chemistry. I could actually envision her being my loving wife. Yeah. And so she made Lionel easy for me because she's so internalized being Anne or being Miss Posey. She so internalized that. And it made it easy for me because to look in her eyes, I saw her pain, courage, and endurance. I saw that coming through her eyes. So it made it easy for me to just, relax and become Lionel.
And the one thing you really have to understand and to realize, when you're telling somebody else's story, you cannot just tell that story in your visual standpoint. You have to lean on the person.
They have to have some.
You have to lean on the person that the story belongs to. So we were all in her ear, like, what does this mean? What does this mean? How do we move forward with this? How do you want him to act? How do you? This is how that book transitioned into a movie. Her
cat fight in front of her. She was.
That was fun.
Yeah, there was a scene in the movie where two ladies was fussing.
Neighborhood.
There was a lady jealous of my mom, right, because she was curvy and blah blah blah. So she finally decided she was going to confront her, right? And it ended up in the middle like two ladies fighting in the grass and all that.
That
stuff.
was funny.
So that was what she did. I'm sorry, it just came to me. But what I want to do is switch it up a little bit. All right, so I understand the vision. I understand what you're trying to push it up to for. Where are you trying to go with it? In the big screen.
You're talking about the end result, right?
Yeah, in the big scheme of
scheme of things.
There's a reason for that question.
I'm still researching my options.
Okay.
I'm pointing the pulse on Lifetime, and a couple of others. So I'm still researching my options.
Okay. All right, so, and I know you already know this, when you're looking for distribution, when you're looking from a distribution perspective, you're thinking commercial, right? If it's going to be distributed, that's commercial, sort of, right? So as you're producing your film and all that, do some research to find out how is it going to be, how is it going to be attractive to me? What selling things can I offer someone to buy this Lifetime? Right? I know the story is powerful, but then you got to sort of detach the emotions because this is still a profit, it's commerce, right? So put that in there also. Tell your story, make it powerful. But don't forget, at the end of the day, there's a business aspect of it. So do your checks and balances. And I got some stuff. I'm saying that because I went through some extra courses where the guy was an agent, a sales agent in Hollywood, buying scripts and things. So he focused on some areas that I didn't even think about.
Yeah.
But there's some things you need to concern yourself with, as far as you want to make sure that it's something that people can relate to, that's going to help somebody. But it also got to be something that people want to see. Right? Because they still got to go see it. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that the handsome face of Fahim and beautiful face of Simone is.
Okay, let me say this. I heard what you just said. All right, so he said he just directed this. But you did not come to him, and I'm assuming, you did not come to him because he was just directing. You came to him as an expert, knowing I know I just added a lot more pressure to you. But I just put that out there because
He doesn't.
Guess what?
He hasn't.
You didn't add any pressure.
It's a great
I call him that
source.
all the time, but he won't accept it.
He's a
Yeah,
great
Randall
source.
is he's dedicated, and he works it, and he sees stuff, and he just brings it out. We must have done the father scene several different times, and we wanted it one way, we wanted another way, but then he listened when I said, well, look, I can put this into gesture. I don't have to say it. And as an actor, I can do this. And once I did that, Rita smiled, and I was like,
And that's what we look for as actors. That's what we have to bring out of each other. Just accepting things that can be looked at upon in a different way, instead of just accepting the basics. Like being an independent filmmaker, we can't just have the basics. We have to go to the extraordinary, beyond, to be noticed, because the basics are not going to get us anywhere.
Correct.
We have to internally do something different, do something that'll give you that wow factor.
you got to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where you currently in the process.
The movie, we start casting next month, so we're still in pre-production.
Okay.
And stuff, but it's called The Lion of Judah Legacy, and log line pretty much is about shy office drone type named Marley Anderson in his mid-40s. Life's going nowhere for him. He's thinking, but born and raised in Jamaica, grew up here in the States. And he finds out around his 45th birthday, his mother's back in Jamaica, and he gets a birthday present from her, and to find out his birthright is he's the love child of the late Emperor Selassie. And so with his birthright, he obtains superpowers, and a Rasta prophet to go along with it. And the prophet tells him he must.
Whoa. Don't tell too much of it.
Y'all get interested.
Don't give us no spoilers, man. You still want them to see a movie.
But it's more.
So
it's a basic premise.
So how's I know you've been working. Well, the good thing, because you have been working with this joke over here forever. It's easier to work, to take this instruction and understand, because he definitely have your back.
Definitely,
right? Because of your history. But he also is going to tell you when you can't do certain things, and he's supposed to, right?
Yes.
So, where are you trying to go with the movie? I know you still. And just having, by the way, she's a casting person too. So this is like one big, connection. So you got your casting. I know you're looking for locations and that kind of thing. I think once before when you mentioned it, you wanted it to be a big production, right? With a big production comes funding.
Which I don't have.
Correct. So you have different avenues. I can't say that, but there's several sites out there that you can try to pitch, but with the fundraisers and all that.
Do you actually think, like in your mind concept, do you actually think not having a big funding would actually hold you back?
No.
As of right now, no. But initially, I was worried about it.
Correct.
But as Junior and as it's progressed and we put it together on our own amongst our team, here.
Because I swear, if you got enough people to love the craft, they will come.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Love the craft and have resources.
Yeah, they'll
Great
come.
question.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
I've been preaching this collaboration thing big time, and some get it and some don't get it.
Right.
But so just like we were just talking about, casting director, right? You collaborate, man. You can take half of those expenses just by reaching out to people that's willing to be a part of your vision, your project. You know, you don't always have to. It doesn't have to come out your pocket.
Yeah. A lot of times the actors, they just want to know that they're not going to put all this work in there, and then you're going to put it on the shelf, and every time you have a cookout or have people at your house, you're going to pull it out and play it. We want to know that you are going to submit it to film festivals. You're going to have a red carpet. There's going to be credits. You know, sometimes, but most of the time, that's good enough.
It's a lot,
especially for a seasoned actor.
It's a lot easier too when the actors truly have respect for you. If they think that you're a joke and a clown and you ask them to do certain things, they're not going to come.
Of course, you got to follow directions. They want you 5'9", and so on and so forth. But relationships are important as well. Yeah. I was connected with the casting, and they put in and they said they need a lawyer, and they said they wanted a Caucasian. And I looked at it and I looked at the show and I was like, well, you know what? I think I can do this. I'm just going to go ahead and submit it. I don't do this often, but I did it. Right. And next thing, one Sunday morning while at church, they called, hey, Keith, they liked your look. And so I became Sanaa Lathan's lawyer in Shots Fired. Wow. Just from that. And so
in other words, you actually took the call in church.
I did.
No, on the break. Oh, no, he tried to get me. You got me. Excuse me, Lord.
Well, it's that time. Well, we kind of run out of time. So, yes, sir.
I just want to add one more thing
Yeah.
about June and I's relationship going back from the beginning, which was trusting people in relationships. And one of the things that that sold me to start working with his brother back in 2007 was that when I asked him about what was his passion making movies, they said he wanted to do the best movies he can.
Yeah.
And as far as me and music, I have the same philosophy. I don't do it for awards. I just want to make the best music ever.
Yep.
From then on,
you feel like you accomplished that yet?
I'm sorry?
Have you felt like you accomplished that yet?
Not really, but for me, it's
I'm working on it.
I don't even think I'm halfway there.
For me, if I see my actors going somewhere and go big, that's
like
my
that
accomplishment.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's about the people that work with.
Yeah, that's what I love.
But you know, it's something I have to say. When we were getting mic'd up and you came in, Master June was not here. He wouldn't even sit down.
He wouldn't even sit down.
That's dope.
Love,
respect and admiration.
Yeah,
He said, no, I'll wait for him. And I sat there, I was like, wow, whoever's coming, and I didn't know it was you.
Dope.
I said, whoever's coming, this man has a lot of respect and regard for him because he wouldn't even sit down and say, no, I'll wait till he comes. That was awesome.
Both ways because he was in the conference room waiting for him.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know I was here yet.
So
I'm always here. I'm learning and everything.
But that's because you're the bodyguard.
Great.
That's awesome.
All right, folks. How can my audience find you on social media, follow your projects, that kind of thing?
Facebook and Instagram.
All right.
Yep.
Randall Lawrence, right?
Yeah,
Facebook.
Randall Lawrence Facebook. Randall Lawrence Facebook and Instagram. Yeah.
Facebook, LinkedIn, Rita A. Wallace Posey, Instagram, Wallace Posey Enterprise.
Okay.
Facebook, Instagram, Simone Walker. My website, www.simonewalker.com.
Awesome.
And I'm with Facebook and Instagram under Fahim Abdul Salam. It's a long word, long name, but it means something.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go on my page and you'll learn exactly what it means, and then you tell me if it fits.
This dude, right?
Next.
Facebook, Twitter, Ask Steel, Instagram, Original Ask Steel, and website, elorenzrecords.com.
Awesome.
For me, just Facebook, or you can Google my name. You can see pretty much everything that I've done. Beside the entertainment industry, because I've done so much. Facebook, of course, that's where I'm always there.
How can they find us, Keith?
And of course, you know, you can Google W. Keith Scott, or you can Google Kazar Coleman, or
www.kzarstv.com. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of KZAR Spotlight of the Month. Join us again as we kick off a new season, brand new episode.